Hi there, and welcome to Celeb Hut. Diddy, since he can't quit being sued, 2 additional claims were taken care of against him by 2 ladies blaming him for paper, and a ton of different things. Then the following thing we realize, we figure out that the federal authorities were bringing him up on charges, and they were gathering a fabulous jury to prosecute him on various charges of CIA. However, that is not all. Even a few former bad boy artists have twisted together to uncover Diddy. Word on the roads is that they're likewise bringing a legal claim against him. You all did's going down, and when he's finished settling these claims, he will be in prison and broke kid for life. We have gained from 2 sources that potential observers have been reached and advised by government agents that they might be called to affirm before a stupendous jury. You all, I swear this Diddy circumstance deteriorates each and every day. It says a ton regarding him, and not one individual has emerged to remain as a person witness, to discuss how them A had an extraordinary involvement in D-Dan, how he's not a beast that everyone says he is. I mean, in any event, when R. Kelly got uncovered, we saw a few superstars emerge to attempt to safeguard him, composing letters to the appointed authority discussing how R. Kelly is a decent man and yakit yet. Yet with regards to Diddy, it's been crickets other than whatever Stevie J and a few people that is on the finance. However, I'm not even certain, assuming you heard this yet, Diddy has been confronting much more claims these beyond about 14 days. Not long after the video of him putting hands on Cassie released, 2 additional ladies sued him for exposition. For the people who haven't been following the tea, a 5th lady named Precious Stone McKinn blamed Diddy for purportedly trying her in 2003, and as per reports, she guarantees the rapper handled her with liquor and conceivably bound grass during their 2003 experience. Then, at that point, carried her to a restroom and constrained her to her eyes, requesting she suck it. Better believe it, you all. The reports proceeded to say that McKinn claimed that when she wouldn't consent, snatched her head and constrained her to perform oral activity on him. She blacked out and stirred in a taxi to acknowledge she'd been a say, in spite of the fact that it stays muddled whether she implied there was an extra say past the oral experience. Now, in her claim, she uncovered that she and D.I. met at a Men's Design Week occasion in Cipriani later, which he welcomed her to his studio. When they arrived, she guaranteed that she began drinking, and they started passing joints around the gathering. The claim said the grass was extremely strong, to such an extent that she started to feel like she was drifting, being dreaded it had been bound with another substance. Combs then made her go to the restroom, where he constrained himself on her. McKinney affirmed in the claim after the occurrence, McKinney guaranteed she was debased from displaying and turned out to be discouraged to such an extent that she attempted to off herself in 2004. Now, a couple of days after this, a lady named April Lambrose guaranteed that she had 4 frightening personal experiences from the mid-1990s to the mid-2000s. She blamed Diddy for battery attack as, say, careless curse of profound pressure. Furthermore, orientation persuaded viciousness, and as per the reports, the archives additionally contain claims that the offended party has endured and keeps on enduring mischief, including actual injury, extreme profound trouble, embarrassment, uneasiness, and other noteworthy harms for which she is qualified for an honor of financial harms and other help, as indicated by the reports. The affirmed episode occurred while she was interning at AIST Records, where D likewise worked under Ander Harrell prior to proceeding to begin his own Mark B. Terrible Kid. April likewise guaranteed that around 2 or quite a while back, Miss Lampros was informed that a video of her and Sean Combs having been recorded by him without her realizing it. Said he showed it to numerous individuals. However, that is not the only claim that he's confronting, on the grounds that CNN, as of late, uncovered that the government examiners were making arrangements to prosecute Diddy on a great jury, as per CNN. Bureaucratic specialists are planning to bring informers of music mold SDD brushes before a terrific government jury. 2 sources acquainted with the test tell CNN, flagging the U.S. Equity Division is moving towards possibly looking for in prosecution of brushes. They proceeded to say that potential observers have been advised by the specialists that they could be gotten to affirm before a government excellent jury in New York City, as per one source, bringing people who have recorded common claims against brushes before an excellent jury would stamp a critical heightening in the public authorities' progressing Take Asian, including the maker and Awful Kid Records organizer. Yet if you all believe that is the finish of it, you better prepare on the grounds that it turns out there are more claims coming furthermore. This time from his former Bad Boy Artist Records. Currently word on the roads is that the few specialists are emerging with a legal claim against Diddy, blaming him for a scope of things from abuse, taking their lords, declining to pay them their broad in cash, putting hands on them supposedly trying them, driving them to work under negative circumstances, and a ton of other stuff. And given the way that we realize that Diddy treats his craftsmen, it's truly not unexpected Tanya Blun, once a rising star under Diddy's former Bad Boy Artists name, as of late dropped some dangerous disclosures about her previous guide. She blamed Diddy for purposefully blundering her profession and attacking it in a spirit of meanness, yet T didn't simply make up these cases without proof. She supported them up with records that highlighted Diddy's supposed association in crashing the professions of numerous craftsmen once endorsed to Awful Kid. Yet assuming you've been following the business tales, or her allegations just wouldn't be a shock to you for a really long time. Murmurs regarding Diddy and his mark's questionable practices have been coursing. It's a recognizable example. A craftsman signs with former Bad Boy artists, delivers a couple of hits, and afterward apparently dissipate. Airs from the scene. Lane's case proposes that Diddy exposed his craftsmen to such extraordinary strain and control that many have become disappointed and at last quit the business out and out. She even introduced a definite rundown of craftsmen who she guaranteed succumbed to Diddy's tricks. Mace, another former Bad Boy artist, has these equivalent accurate considerations, suggesting that the destruction of numerous specialists was because of their refusal to conform to Diddy's requests, which supposedly remembered a few repulsive exercises back in 1996. Tanya was blown endorsed by former Bad Boy Artists Records, given the mark's massive prominence. At the time, it seemed like her brilliant path to progress. Diddy had enormous designs for Tanya, and things got going with the bang. She was matched with the top-level makers and musicians generally set to make a collection under former Bad Boy artists. Diddy himself was vigorously involved, expressly creating her collection. However, the underlying energy before long blurred as Diddy's advantage in her venture faded step by step, and he offered less and less consideration until it vanished from his radar totally in a meeting with the Washington Post. Tanya uncovered that Diddy had totally dismissed her undertaking, leaving it torpid for a really long time, which ultimately transformed into years. As she put it, there are just so often that you can refresh a tune well. The high expectations from 1996 conflicted with the cruel real factors of the music business and Diddy's unpredictable center, leaving Tanya's profession goals in a disappointing limbo, yet standing by it settles the score more insane. Diddy had Tanya secured in the studio, tricking out tunes left and right like some kind of music-making machine, while realizing that none of it was truly going to come around. She needed to endure recording 50 to 6 melodies that way. She needed to endure recording 50 to 6 melodies that she wasn't flowing with, just for Diddy to reassess her collection in a spirit of meanness. It was a hopeless train wreck that very much hit absolute bottom after that, on the grounds that the collection wasn't flowing with, just for Diddy to reassess her collection in a spirit of meanness. It was a hopeless train wreck that very much hit absolute bottom after that, on the grounds that the collection she emptied her entire being into was thrown to the side, like the previous news. It was sufficient to cause anybody to feel sufficient to cause anybody to feel like they were suffocating. She's approached, saying that she was so tired of being disregarded that she felt it was absolutely impossible that she attempted to unalife herself. Yet fortunately, she's here today to recount her story. She said it was a hard choice since that was the way I had the option to give and deal with my family at the time. It was so difficult it broke me. It truly did. I went into treatment with terrible considerations and, surprisingly, endeavored to unalive myself. I was in the Dallas emergency clinic on a 72-hour watch. I had taken pills. I concluded this is all there is to it by the mid-2000s. Tanina was dropped by former Bad Boy Artists Records without even a murmur of her collection hitting racks. The failure was squashing, and her experience with Diddy left her so disappointed that she pulled back from music making for a stunning 15 years. However, in 2016, T made a triumphant return, this time collaborating with her spouse to deliver new music with recharged force, and to no one's surprise, she is one of the specialists suing Diddy. The Tanya story isn't interesting. She's one of the numerous who have complaints against Diddy. Craig Mack, once ready to be a star at former Bad Bad Boy Boy Artist Records, likewise had a comparable involvement with Diddy Mack, who was one of Diddy's specialists before Diddy even found the famous Bibi Gag, and Craig Mack's vocation was sidelined anyway prior to blurring. Out of the spotlight, Craig was constrained into teaming up with Biggie on the remix of Flavor in Your Ear. As per reports, did he take advantage of Craig to raise Big Deal's vocation? Neither one of the craftsmen was especially anxious to chip away at the remix on the grounds that they truly couldn't stand one another, but did he drive them to make it happen? In the background, Control left crafting utilized, which accommodates Diddy's example of utilizing specialists to the detriment of others. I mentioned, like on the remix Flavor in Your Ears, that was simply something I needed to do. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? That is a legislative issue. Puff requested that I do it, but I didn't. Well, things among Diddy. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.